self-employed people, apologies for 1, 2, 3 people that are limited companies, it should apply to you, but not as much. So, in the tax year, you are allowed a personal allowance, and that personal allowance covers all your income, whether you are self-employed or whether you also have what my mother says, a normal job. She doesn't think being self-employed is a normal job. No. So you get one tax allowance for the whole tax year. And the tax year runs from the 6th of April 2019 to the 5th of April 2020. Okay? So you get that allowance. If you're lucky enough and your profit, which we'll come on to what that is, gets over £50,000, then unfortunately you're a higher rate taxpayer and you have to pay tax at 40%. Between 12,500 and 50,000, you only pay tax at 20%. Okay, yep.
Just a quick question, just to clarify. You only get taxed 40% on the point that
when it goes over.
So if it might just be £1,000 over,
yes.
and you just get 40%.
You only get taxed at the bit over.
Sure,
There is a graphic, a beautiful graphic that hopefully you might understand next, and that kind of explains that bit. So between £12,500 and £50,000, you will be taxed at 20% UK income tax. Yes.
Does that same rule apply for when you go over £12,500?
No, that's what I just said. Between £12,500 and £50,000, you are taxed at 20% income tax. So below £12,500, you don't pay any income tax.
But it would be 20% off the money. So if you
yeah, so it's
20% of 2,500.
Yeah. Yes. So if you had £15,000, 20% of £2,500. Sorry, is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, yes. It's the bit over the top that you get taxed on. I am stressing the word, this is income tax. Okay, there are other taxes you're having to pay. For those of you that run a limited company, you should be paying yourself a payroll salary. And the salary you pay yourself out your limited company goes into your personal tax return, and then you are taxed on it from there. Okay, so you have to be a PAYE employee of your own limited company. So you just have 2 lots of taxes to worry about. When you go over profits of 150,000, I pray for the day for that to happen with me. Not quite there yet. Then anything over £150,000 will be taxed at 50%. 45%. Sorry, Boris is coming in, isn't he? You know. So it's taxed at 45%. Okay. So the other is just the comparison. If you're doing your tax return now, the other is just the comparison for what you're currently filing your tax return. This is applicable to England and Wales. If you reside in Scotland, you have different rates and different threshold. Well, you have the same threshold, but then you have a 19%, a 20%, a 21%, a 45%, and a 46%. You have lots of different tax rates to apply to your profit if you're in Scotland. Yeah. Didn't bring that hand out because there's only so much I could squeeze into my case. But there are different tax thresholds for Scotland. Wales, there will be different tax thresholds from next year. So if you reside in Wales, they have the ability to set their own tax levels as well. At the moment, they're in with England. So much easier. Okay. So that's my little graphic. It's a wine glass because I thought most people can understand wine being poured into a glass. And it's not a bottle, it's a box of wine because young people like to get drunk quickly, so let's have a box. So the bottom bit, it says there's no little tap to leak any money out. So at £12,500, you keep all the money. There is no income tax to pay. Above that, so between that bit, then there is 20% tax to pay on the bit above, and then we get into 40%, then we get into 45%. So it's just a sweet little graphic, you know, and my kind of sense of humour of give shed loads to HMRC. It was going to be a different word, but I didn't think that would go down well.
I didn't think it mixed well with wine.
Yeah, probably not. Yes.
Just for idiot-proof sake, your income tax, that's after expenses or before?
After.
Yeah.
So this is based on your profit. Okay, and I'll go into what's profit later.